What's up, everybody? Evan here for Grips.com, continuing with Project Get Me Stacking. Excited to get back to Project Get Me Stacking, taking a couple weeks off to do some MTT reviews, but I see you guys been winning tournaments, so I guess that's for the good. Anyway, this question is one I've heard a lot, and I'm very excited to share with you guys, so I'll get right into it. Hey Evan, thanks a lot for what you do. Keep up the great job. My question concerns opinions that I hear lately that there is little money to be made playing in poker anymore. People say that because of the wide availability of information about the game, there are few real fish and many tough players. So it is extremely difficult and time-consuming to make money on poker. I like this as a recreational, competitive poker player. It is great to play a more complex and high-level game as long as I have the money for it. It can be bad for aspiring pros though. What is your opinion on this? Jedrick. And it's a great point. There's a lot of information out there, a lot more than there used to be, and I think that's just the beauty of the age we live in. We're in the information age. There's a lot out there that we can get access to, but it's what we do with it that really matters. And a lot of people don't know how to make use of the information that's out there. So I'm going to talk about why I feel that there's still plenty of money to be made in poker and how you can have an attack plan to really get it done. All right. So as I said, this is a statement that I've heard many times over the course of the last year, and a sentiment shared by many. While it's true that poker is not a golden goose, where anyone can show up and make tons of money their first time at bat, being a professional poker player is by no means something of the past. When online poker was first introduced, very few people knew how to play the game, and a lot of money was being put online. This led to great opportunities for those who had a basic understanding of the game. That being said, there is still a lot of money being put on the tables, and still a lot of far from perfect play being exhibited. Let's talk about why poker is still a profitable venture and how you can make it a profitable venture if it's something you want to pursue. The first obstacle I hear about going for it in poker is that there is so much information out there that, quote unquote, all the secrets have been revealed, and that with this being the case, the field will be too competitive. Well, I think that even when the first few books were put out there, a lot of these concepts were already in print. They were just harder to find and suss out, and people had to think a little bit more to figure out the concepts for themselves. I think that all the information has actually created a different problem of information overload, in that it's hard to know where to find what you want. There is so much mediocre and bad information out there that it can be hard to find the good stuff. The biggest thing I can say on this point is that nothing competes with first-hand experience, and that watching a million videos or reading a million books isn't going to help you that much if you don't learn things firsthand. Learning is about making your own mistakes and figuring out how to avoid those mistakes in the future. So regardless of how much information is out there, it's whoever will put in the most time that's going to get the results. So yes, it is going to be a little time consuming to get good at poker, but hey, isn't it time consuming to get good at anything? The access to information is a blessing, because anyone who wants to get really good at the game has the resources at their fingertips to do so. The reality is, most people don't want it bad enough to put in the required hours. In the age we live in, it's the same for most fields. Information is readily available, but that doesn't make everyone an expert overnight. The key is knowing how to use the information, how to filter through it and find the goodies that work for you, while constantly mixing in application and learning on your own. If you're better at absorbing the information than the competition, if you have a good strategy for what you need to learn and how you're going to learn it, it will make no difference how much information is put out there. You're going to get all the goodies, and a lot of other people are just going to keep looking, thinking they're figuring things out and not really making any progress. The reason I feel most strongly that there's a lot of money to be made in poker still is that the big sites who have made a lot of money from running a business for a long time are constantly putting more back into the system. And this is generally designed to give beginners a great shot to get started. They want to make it easy for you to build up that starting roll. Bonuses, free rolls, VIP events, rake races, giveaways, all these things that allow someone who is putting in the time to get their bankroll padded with little effort. Also, with the rising popularity of poker, which I expect to get even bigger over the next couple of years, new players are constantly being attracted to the game. And these are players with real jobs and real money, as well as the younger students, of course. So, with people with real money being introduced to the game, that's a lot of money being added to the ecosystem. It's a lot of real money getting put on the tables that is winnable for someone who understands the game. To top it off, hosts are out there searching for big players with big bankrolls who love to gamble but haven't been introduced to online poker. They may be blackjack players, baccarat players, or live poker players who just don't understand the nuances of online play. And these players will bring massive amounts of money to the games and will ensure that there is plenty of money to go around, even at the highest levels. People have and always will love gambling. Poker is such an intriguing game, and it attracts both hustlers and rich whales who want nothing more than to have some fun, no matter what it costs. That's really good news for anyone who wants to make money in this game. So, the fact is, the money is out there. That is a certainty. 1, 2. But competition can be tough to get it if you're looking for it in the same place everyone else is. Throughout the poker world, there are tons of hidden wells, lesser known poker sites, private games, casinos across the globe, and of course, the best place to get that free money, poker tournaments. You can put up $10 and win like 10,000. Think about how big an edge you can have if you make it deep and you're playing against people who have no experience playing in this sort of situation when you've studied your tournament dynamics, your shorthanded dynamics, and you're playing against people who play for $10. There are many places where people are playing at less than a AAA level, and it's your job to find those places so that you can get that value. This may require you to work on more than just your technical skills at the game, but these other skills are what help you compete at the highest level in the game of life. So there's added value on top to developing those areas of yourself as well. Overall, I think most people who say this statement that I don't think there's any money to be made in poker anymore, it's too tough, most often are those that A, are lazy and don't want to work hard to get what they want, or B, feel that they are entitled to something just because. I would guess that most of those players don't have a huge handle on their emotions, which is why they find the game to be difficult to have success in. Having emotional control is so important to doing well in poker because it's a game where you're going to experience a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And if you can't handle those downs, then you're going to end up failing like almost certainly. The emotional aspect of this game is just as important, if not more important, than the technical skills required to play at a high level. I've recently been reading a great book, and if you want to instill confidence in yourself that you can make a lot of money playing cards, if you really put in the time and effort, and have an attack plan to do it, check out The Mental Game of Poker, Parts 1 and 2. Part 2 is particularly good for setting up that action plan to get it done. You'll see why there's so much more opportunity than some people think. Can you make $1 million your first year playing? Probably not. But it's the people who work hard and persevere through those early stages that can get those great results after enough time and dedication. Remember, if it was easy, everyone would do it, and everyone would be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. The game is not dead easy, and there are so many factors that go into making a great player that go beyond knowing the math and the advanced strategies of the game. Those things, they're just the first step of many to becoming a great poker player. All right, so there is money to be made in the game for sure. Is it easy to get? Well, not easy, but nothing's easy at first. Initially, it will be challenging, maybe seemingly impossible if you have this monumental thing you're trying to get done, instead of focusing on the little elements that are going to get you there. But eventually, that will fade, things will get easier, and new profitable opportunities will present themselves for anyone who sticks with it and continues to work hard. I mean, if you just look at our community, like, we only started this thing a year ago, and some people who had never played poker before, or were really losing players, just started watching these videos, and within a year have been making thousands, tens of thousands, many hundreds of dollars. And this is in a really short time frame. What's a year? Okay? I think the biggest obstacle is for people who expect results right away, because they did a few correct things. I watched 3 videos, I read a book, I deserve to win every session I play right away. It's not gonna just work that easily. If you're quick to give up when things won't go your way, then you probably won't get what you initially set out for. You have to stick with it, keep going, keep trucking through. By keeping a long-run minded approach and having a good game plan, you can get those great results that you're seeking. For me, I noticed personally that the cash games I was playing in were really competitive. They required really intense work and were a lot more difficult than they had been when I started playing them. So, what did I do to get my earning power where I wanted it to be? I transitioned to a form of poker that I felt had a lot more dead money and a lot more poor play. Yes, the variance in tournament poker is definitely higher than it is in cash games, but the overall expectation is much higher as well. And I'm not saying that cash games aren't a great place to go, but there will hit a point where the competition is very tough and it requires a very technical game to get the job done. Now, if that's your MO and that's what you want to work on, you will be able to do well in those cash games. You just have to find what works for you. So I hope that answers your question, Jedrick. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments of this video. And if you find Project Get Me Stackin' helpful to your game, please subscribe to the channel below. Also, if you guys have any questions for Project Get Me Stackin', please send them on over to evan@grips.com with the subject line Get Me Stackin'. Hopefully I can answer your question and help you get stacking. And that is going to wrap it up for me. This has been Evan for Grips.com saying peace.